Okay, well, by now, I'm sure you've heard of it. Elon has taken over Twitter. It's not new news, but I thought I'd just share a few thoughts with you about it and kind of how I perceive it and, kind of my take on it. First off, it's unfortunate that we live at a time where we have to rely on a billionaire. It feels like I'm in a Batman movie where it's Bruce Wayne coming to the rescue. And in this case, it's Elon Musk who had to come to the rescue of a shift in power, a dynamic, basically taking power away from the tyrants and giving it back to the average everyday citizen. Now, the forces were stacked against Elon. There was multiple forces that came at play. You had the folks like BlackRock, you had the SEC, you had the Twitter board, you had other billionaires who were speaking out, and of course you had the paparazzi, the Hollywood elitists. Everyone was conspiring to thwart Elon's plans, but he persevered. So this should be a lesson to all of us that a single individual can still make a difference. Now, granted, yes, he's a billionaire, I get it, but the people that were opposing him were also billionaires and quite wealthy as well. But he persevered nonetheless. This goes against that whole collective ideology that the global reset crowd would have us believe. You know, the one that says you're powerless, you have no voice, and you're just part of this giant collective blob, and really your ideas, your pushing against it is futile and a waste of time. Don't believe it, folks. That's the goal that they're trying to sell you, the narrative they're trying to sell you. If that were the case, they would have stopped Elon. Yes, he was the wealthiest man in the world, but the other wealthy men could have banded together to stop him. So this proves that the individual can still make a big difference in the marketplace of ideas or history. It can change an event or a situation. I mean, think about how an individual made a difference. You can still remember, most of you have heard of Mahatma Gandhi. Here was a man who had virtually no wealth, nothing to speak of. He wasn't a billionaire, and yet he used his voice and his power to basically bring an empire to his knees, the British Empire. Take a look, think about, Martin Luther King Jr. and what he was able to do. Again, a man who not wealthy, not equipped in any way, but he challenged the power brokers that were of the day, and he shifted the whole ideology. Take somebody like Nelson Mandela, just his time. He was a guy who was spent most of his rebellious years or fighting the establishment from prison, and yet went on to become the leader of South Africa. So this proves that the individual still has power, and the only way the individual truly loses power is if he or she is brainwashed into believing that they don't have a say or they don't have any ability to push back against the establishment. This Twitter battle, yes, we can say it was about free speech, but I think it was more about, obviously, power. That's what this battle was about. It wasn't about your ability to speak. It was about your ability to be able to say what the elites would have you say, or your ability to not be able to say what you were wanting to say. And while that may seem like free speech, the people that were censoring other people were still speaking freely. But the question is, what were they pushing? What was their agenda? What was the narrative they were hell-bent on drilling through? And all of that narrative, all of that was meant to simply put power in their hands and control. That's what this whole battle has always been about. Mass, I mean, all of us, we know that mass, there's debate on what they can and can't do. But one thing they definitely can do is continue the idea of people living in fear and believing from a visual image that they are in constant danger and that we are in a constant threat and crisis. When we are thinking that way, when individuals believe this, they are willing to cede their power, their autonomy to someone else. That's what this battle has always been about. That's what these ongoing battles will be. So, in light of what Elon's done, what does it mean? Well, it means that the rest of us must continue to fight. We cannot rely on a billionaire to come and rescue us because he can't become our savior. We have to individually, and as people, push against the establishment, continue to fight on. We cannot just rest in this now and say, well, great, Twitter's been liberated and now I'm free and now everything's going to be great. No, This battle is going to continue. This is only the first volley into reclaiming back our power. So all of you must continue to keep pushing. This is a great day. It's wonderful news, but this now gives us a megaphone back in the marketplace to promote what our ideas are, our beliefs, and shift that power dynamic away from those who would basically treat us as serfs and want to rule over us versus govern. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can always follow me on my Rumble, on my Locals account, and I will see you next time.